John Doe Radio.
Johnny, let's see some big bucks. Big bucks. Stop it all.
What if I get killed by gas? The Rammies are coming to steal your stuff.
JDR Live.
The human brain is made for thinking, not pubic experiment. It's hardly a tinker toy or experimenting. Not pubic with drugs.
Why do we talk about marijuana? It's the single biggest drug that is a source of some confusion.
This is really about educating the public about the fact that marijuana is a less harmful drug.
Marijuana, that's to get high.
You can be as high as you want.
The prohibition of marijuana over the last 71 years has not actually prevented you from using marijuana.
You feel weak.
Closer to winning the war on drugs.
I do believe there have been some successes.
We will never arrest our way out of this problem.
John Doe Radio.
Johnny, let's see some big bucks. Big bucks. Stop it all.
What if I get killed by gas? The Rammies are coming to steal your stuff.
Welcome to JDR News Live. I am your host, John Doe, a.k.a. Tim Martin. Man, it doubled up on that whammy. We lost it all, then we lost it all again. Goddamn whammies. That's like the best game show in the world. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Big bucks, big bucks, big bucks. I can't even say it right, though. Anyway, apologies for that. Thank you for hanging out with us here on the John Doe Radio Show. We are live. It is a Friday. Da, 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 da. Have you heard enough of Star Wars yet? Because it is the day that the Star Wars film comes out, the brand new one. I'm going to see this goddamn thing later on this evening. I cannot wait. Kind of a last-minute decision. Got to go to a midnight showing, so hopefully the whole damn place is not just jam-packed, everybody like sardines into that mamma jamma, because who enjoys going to a movie and sitting next to somebody that you just absolutely do not know? Maybe you don't mind it. I do, personally. So, hopefully I don't have to sit next to anybody. They're at least a seat away from either my right or my left. And then I'll be fantastic. Everything will be gravy. We'll all be good. Holy guacamole. I just can't contain my excitement for it, really. And I've been hearing tons and tons of great stuff about it. And really just all the stupid people online trying to ruin everybody's damn day. I couldn't handle it. I was like, damn it, I can't go through another week or another day. Because, those two things are equal to the same. What, you can't wait a goddamn day? No, it would be exactly like waiting a week if I waited another day to go see it. So, anyway, thanks again for hanging out with us. We'll get to cannabis news here in a second. Big thanks to our friends and sponsors here in the JDR. First of all, thank you, the JDR Army, for hanging with us and for supporting us. You can catch our shows... Excuse me there. You can catch our shows at johndorad.io, johndorad.io. You can also visit our sponsors at weedbiz.net. Fantastic folks over there at weedbiz.net have great grow pods for you. Also, if you need to get something professional to grow from, your graphics on our Facebook page, URGRAFIX, and our good friends at usacannabis.consulting. Holler at them. Smoke a bowl, baby.
You're now listening to Illit Beats.
It's Friday, bitches! One of the best days of the week, and really, I guess the older that you get, or really depending on what kind of career you've got yourself into, your Fridays may not even matter. It's like just really another damn day, because maybe you have to go to work on Saturday, and I don't know, whatever. For kids, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, it's like the jam, man. That's why it's called the weekend. But yeah, what you do, you get a little bit older, you get into that job type situation where you don't get to pick necessarily. That's why you got to work for yourself. can't be working for the man because the man may have you working Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And then that shit's just punk. But then if you're working for yourself, you're your own boss. Then I don't know, maybe business is slow during the holiday season. You have to work Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. That's just something you got to do. I can understand that too, so who knows there. Anyway, Stony Thoughts from JDR. I got some fantastic taste of shatter yesterday. A good friend that I haven't seen for a long time rolled through. And Sour Diesel, which, by the way, he wanted me to repeat and tell Bike that this whole bullshit is about Sour Diesel not being available here in Colorado is a bunch of crap and a bunch of bullshit that needs to be thrown out the door. So had some of that, and then in celebration of Star Wars, had to get some of that dang old Death Star. Because it is one of my favorite strains out there, period. I absolutely love Death Star. That and the reverse versions of it. I don't know which one it is. It's like Sour Diesel crossed with... damn it, what's the other... Shit. Oh, yeah, Sour Diesel with Super Silver Haze. Is that what it is? Why did I just brain fart? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then Super Silver Haze with Sour Diesel. I don't know. For some reason, my brain just went completely numb there. I think what happens in that situation a lot of times with some of us that are extremely confident people, you know, we know we're confident. I guess it's not extremely confident people. You know, we're confident with ourselves, but then we go to think of something and we don't have necessarily the most confidence with talking in front of people or saying it out loud in front of a bunch of people and then being branded as, no, that's wrong. Or maybe it's just because there are people that can correct me since I'm sitting here talking and it's open broadcast and anybody that wants to come in and tell me that I'm full of shiz can come in. So then, like, as an emergency mechanism, right before I get ready to say it, my brain goes... It's like that dude we were talking about yesterday that was running the whole show up there, you know, that fed the gerbil, kept all the cobwebs off from upstairs. You know, that dude, he just pounded the button of eject. We got to get rid of that thought, and then there's nothing left in the tube. It's like if you were on terrestrial radio and someone cussed, and you had to hit the dump button. You know, your brain just hits the dump button sometimes if you know, you're not necessarily confident or afraid of some backlash being said. I don't know, it's just a creative way of thinking about how my brain works. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there could be some... Oh, shiz, I almost knocked over everything right here. That wouldn't have been a good thing, but that's okay. But, yeah, that little dude, you know, when he's responsible for your thinking and all this great crazy shiz, he just hit the dump button there on the Death Star crosses. Anyway, either Death Star or Kong, two of my favoriteest strains that are out there. So we'll have to get back soon here on JDR when we get in this new studio situation, hopefully at the beginning of the year, and specifically with Bike becoming this huge aficionado in seeds and strains. He would be like, what? What are you talking about? Ha ha ha. But, you know, it'd just be nice to talk about strains again and get the inner workings of certain plants and really stay on top of what's hot out there. You know, is the Gorilla Glue still the hottest strain? Talk more about clear or talk more about rosin. I don't know, I'm kind of missing that kind of talk. So, and I've been saving a lot of people that we would interview on the phone. It's not that hard for me to be able to get people to sit here and talk to on JDR, but I want to make sure that we have the best presentation, the presentation that we've been designing here on the show, or trying to get to a certain point, that little idea, that thought, that gleam, that bing, possible moment. If it doesn't happen too far into the beginning of the middle of the year, then we'll just have to start flipping the script again and inviting people on as much as we can to do phone conversations. But I'd like to have people in the studio with us talking and then have possibly more groups of people being able to be in on discussions. So, I don't know. I don't want to waste conversations and questions about certain things. It's like when the Colbert Show replaced Letterman. You know, Stephen Colbert came into play. He had months to think about what he wanted to do and try and design some things. And that's what I'm trying to kind of do here. And design it with the idea of, you know, me hosting a show and then Bike coming in and playing just a dude who tries to throw a stick into everything. Like that dang old Oklahoma. Get over here, Oklahoma. I stick you in your gut. You come over here, stick your damn head around that fence, I will poke you in your eye. You know, like the dude we were talking about yesterday? It hates Oklahoma, the neighboring Oklahoma. Us, basically. And, we sticking Oklahoma in the eye with the stick because they're trying to get into our shiz, suing us for legalization. Anyway, that's kind of like Bike, is that dude who pokes with sticks and shiz. God, man, that was a roundabout way. And Stony, it's lucky that we're stoners here because some of this makes sense. Otherwise, if you're not a stoner, don't really smoke a bunch of weed, and even if you do smoke a bunch of weed, you might be like, dude, you make absolutely no sense half the time I talk to you. Or that you're talking to me. Oh, God, maybe we should just get into the news. This is falling apart quickly. Today on JDR, in other words, Mike will be back with us, and we've got some awesome stuff planned for the beginning of the year. President commutes drug war prisoners' sentences. Canadian legalization, women and weed, TSA official busted for allowing drugs to flow back and forth between TSA and Albans. Anyway, we'll get to that article. Cannabis commodity market. Interesting article that was brought to me by, or at least passed on to me, sent to me, I should say, by one of our listeners. And it's pretty fascinating piece. It's kind of like, you know, where they would list the price of a gallon of oil or a price of gold or whatever it is. Anyway, these people are listing the prices of cannabis where it's legally traded, and it looks like it's pretty exact on, which is pretty awesome. But the fact that this is in like a Financial Times type publication is even more awesome. We're getting closer, folks. We're getting closer. Banks looking into cannabis is the other story I had, and we'll see what else we get to. It's a Friday. We'll see how long the JDR is. I got the super munchies, man. I shouldn't have smoked as much as I did before the show started. Because all I can hear right now is, well, the bed, and then my stomach growling, telling me to, punching me in the face like, dude, you should have had, like, that piece of pizza or something before you started. Anyway, let's get to news. By the way, with USA.Cannabis Consulting, these guys are not, is what I mean is that you should, if you're looking for somebody, God, that was horrible. I had 3 different things I was trying to go there in my brain, and none of them, we should learn by now that when you try and take the middle of the fork of the road, JDR, this shiz just runs into a tree. Crash and burn. USA Cannabis Consulting. If you're looking for somebody that you can trust in this industry to help guide you through regulations, to help take care of you, you need to holler at them. USACannabis.consulting. Fantastic people that can help you also build out with construction your dreams. USACannabis.consulting. Holler at them. Tell them Kyle, JDR sent you, and ask for like Kyle Allen, and he'll know who I am. Good people. Fantastic people. President Obama commuted the sentences of 95 drug offenders Friday. More, God dang. Hold on, let me move this. It's like I mentioned yesterday with the news article that was split up into like 16 different sections, and it was almost impossible to see where it started. It's just becoming worse and worse and worse. And I would like to not have ad block on, because, you know, sometimes some of these sites that we read cannabis news from, they're small business type sites, you know, and I want to give them as much as you possibly can, and show the support as much as you possibly can, and ads definitely help support people like that, man. They're put it in an ad block, there's, you know, possibility that person's not going to get paid for you going and visiting them. But when you put on the ad blocks, it makes it possibly legible. Without it, not so much anymore. President Obama commuted the sentences of 95 drug offenders Friday, more than double the number of commutations he granted earlier this year in July in an effort to reduce prison crowding and give relief to drug offenders who were harshly sentenced in the nation's war on drugs. It is the third time this year that the president has used his unique clemency powers to release federal drug offenders whose harsh sentences have contributed to the phenomenon of mass incarceration. Obama granted clemency to 22 drug offenders in March and another 46 in July. The United States has less than 5% of the world's population, but nearly a quarter of the world's prison population. 1 in 100 adults is behind bars in America, according to the Coalition for Public Safety, a bipartisan criminal justice reform organization. A White House spokesman said that Obama has surpassed the number of 88 commutations granted by the previous 4 presidents. And then they go to list the presidents here. Hold on here. Maybe I changed the audio settings a little bit. It just seems like the past couple of days, man, that bed is just blasting. So 88 commutations granted by the previous 4 presidents, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, and George W. Bush, all combined. So this is kind of an important point to highlight here, but it's also important to note that, I mean, that's not a lot when you sit down and look at the big picture. When you see how many people have been thrown in jail, and we said it just in this news article, that we have the largest prison populations, nearly a quarter of the world's prison population. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And 80, 90, 100 prisoners, I mean, that's not a huge dent in things at all. It's a step in the right direction in that it sends a message, and possibly for future type of situations for like sentencing or setting an example for future administrations. You know, it is something that's positive, but it's practically nothing. Nothing in the scheme of things. I guess, though, the people that were commuted, they wouldn't say that it is absolutely nothing in the scheme of things. So, really, I guess you have to look at it in perspective. Perspective is everything. If you're one of those dudes that got to benefit from this situation, then it's your world. Friends, family of this person, it's your world. It's fantastic. It's great. But we just have to do it bigger. Does it really change the system, though? You know, we talk about it. I mentioned, you know, it could change future things. Is it? Will it really? And sometimes you have to wonder. And that's one big thing that I hope in the year that we have left of the Obama administration. I was talking to a friend about this yesterday, and somebody also in the chat room, about how it would be nice if Obama just dropped the mic during this last year of his presidency. Actually made something that pushed for change. You know what I'm saying? Like the Supreme Court generally only takes on situations and cases where it's absolutely going to change the rights for everybody in America. You know, not just some like small type of situation here or there. No, it's like a nationwide federal type change. And that would be nice to see him pick up the slack. Maybe do away with the the big thing, you can think of anything. I mean, there are a number of things that Obama could do, including do away with the DEA, legalize cannabis in some sort of way, force that hand, take away funding. And since I'm not a politician and I don't know how creative they get behind closed doors, and it's not technically my responsibility to think of what to do, there's got to be something. It would just be nice to see that happen. And who knows if we do. But anything else could be argued that it's not really making a change here. And you could say that if we end up with a Trump-type president in office next round, or somebody that doesn't make any changes at all, just creates this stalemate type situation. If we run into that, who's to say that it wouldn't that all our momentum wouldn't parlay into the next administration, and even if we ended up with someone that wasn't bad or wasn't good in this next one, crazy politics happen in America, and then we end up in the next administration type situation that wants to lock everything back down. It's important we capitalize on this momentum, because if not, then we end up like Washington and fumbling everything. Maybe one of these shows will go without blasting Washington. I think we've done it every single time we've had a news show this month. I apologize, Washington. All right, let's get into Canada here. At a former Hershey's chocolate factory just outside Ottawa, a company called Tweed now produces a rather different confection, marijuana for Canada's tightly regulated medical market. Under the gaze of surveillance cameras, scientists in lab coats concoct new cannabis-based blends in near-sterile conditions. A repurposed candy mixer does the blending. Only in the growing rooms does the spirit of Cheech and Chong, a stoned comedy duo, like anybody doesn't know who Cheech and Chong is. Jesus fucking monkey Christ. Whoa, John Doe. Jesus fucking monkey Christ. Yes, I said it. Only in the growing rooms, blah, 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 blah. Cheech and Chong. The plants have names like Black Widow, Deep Purple, Chemdog, and Bubba Kush. The market, though is growing fast, is still tiny. Just 30,000 registered patients buy their supplies from licensed firms like Tweed, short for therapeutic weed. Its parent company had sales of 4.2 million in Canadian, I think is what that C in front of the dollar means. 3.1 million in American. I don't know. That's the first time I see that in any news article. I thought I've read a lot. Maybe I'm just being a stupid American there, which is probably true. Let's just agree. Yeah, being a stupid American. Its parent company had 4.2, whatever that C means, in the 6 months that ended on September 30th. But the promise by Justin Trudeau, Canada's new prime minister, to legalize marijuana could widen the customer base to well beyond 3 million Canadians thought to consume it now. The government's first speech from the throne on December 4th named legalization as one of its priorities. The existence of companies like Tweed, which obtained a stock market listing in 2014, long before Mr. Trudeau, a tattooed former snowboard instructor, looked likely to become prime minister, suggests that Canadians' transition from remedial to recreational pot will soon be smooth. It probably won't be. It's going to be a lot harder to implement than you think, said Louis Koski, who we're familiar with here in Colorado because he's the head of our marijuana enforcement division here in Colorado. Oh, wait. Until recently, the director of marijuana enforcement in Colorado. Is he not the head anymore? Did I miss that? Did we miss something here? I'm going to have to check into that. 1 in 4 Americans... Wait, hold on here. Where was I at? Until recently, the director of enforcement in Colorado to a Canadian news agency is what Koski told. Is who Koski told that to. Colorado is one of 4 American states to legalize the drug. Canada, likely to be the first large country to take that step, faces bigger obstacles. Its legal pot industry got its start in 2001. After courts ruled that sufferers from epilepsy, AIDS, cancer, and other ailments had a constitutional right to light up, the federal government of the time, led by Trudeau's Liberal Party, developed a hybrid system to study and regulate it. The health minister acted as a dealer and doctor, certifying patients and selling marijuana to them at a subsidized price of $5 a gram. One company, Prairie Plant Systems, was the ministry's only supplier. Parents could grow their own with a license. Stephen Harper's Conservatives, who replaced the Liberals in 2006, my brain didn't even work. It was like what we were talking about earlier. It was going to be like, horde. And my brain was like, do not make an idiot out of yourself. No, stop. Dude hit the eject button. Beep. And it just dumped it out of my brain. Oh, man. Sometimes I really do crack myself out. Crack myself up. Did I say out? God, you fucking idiot. Abhorred. Is that how you say that word? Abhorred? Abhorred? Narcotics, but couldn't close the medical industry. Instead, they privatized it under rules that took effect in April of 2014. Responsibility for certifying patients passed to doctors and nurses. The government freed prices and licensed 25 tightly regulated private firms, including Tweed, to compete with the sole supplier. They can deliver only by parcel, post, or to a doctor. Domestic grow-ops were outlawed. I was thinking about this the other day, because you can get deliveries through the mail in Canada. I didn't say Canada there. That's fantastic. It's amazing you didn't say Canadian. You can get it delivered, and that's got to be seriously awesome, man. That's one of the things that I haven't really ever experienced, is receiving a package of cannabis. I think it's maybe one of the only things with, like, cannabis or being involved in regulation or anything. And I mean, I've been involved in some crazy shiz. A pound or more being put into this big glass container and then attached to this like backup air circulation unit, and then torched and lit. The air circulation unit turned on and sucking and blowing out like a pound of weed in under like 2 minutes. And you're inside this 10 by 10. I mean, I've been a part of some pretty crazy shiz. The other crazy parties, Las Vegas party, freaking going to Vegas with the glass guy. I mean, some crazy shiz. Seriously. But receiving and enjoying that package of cannabis in the mail has not been one of them. Always. Ever since the delivery system in Canada started, always been something that's fascinated me. I always used to talk with Mark Emery about that too. So cool. Just order, and then all of a sudden, bam, right there, your front door. You open it up, and you're like, whoa. I was not expecting this today. Fantastic. Back to this news story. You can deliver by parcel, post, doctor, grow, blah, blah. These button-up regulations govern just a sliver of the medical marijuana market. Elsewhere, anarchy reigns. The 30,000 registered patients are a small fraction of the 1 million people thought to toke for medicinal purposes. Some 25,000 still legally grow their own weed while they await a decision on a lawsuit brought by 4 home growers who they say cannot pay high prices. Rather than take delivery by post, many customers, both patients and partiers, obtain their marijuana through storefront dispensaries, which have sprung up across Canada, encouraged by liberalism in the United States. Vancouver has the liveliest retail sector with 176 dispensaries or compassion clubs. Wow, I didn't know it was that much. That's actually surprising news to me. 176 dispensaries in Vancouver. That's pretty cool. Which buy surplus produced by home-based herbalists. So really, it's kind of been the wild, wild west for Canada. That's short for Vancouver, Canada, I guess. And JDR is, anyways, idiot. So Vancouver is sort of still like the wild, wild west, where you could just grow weed and then take it into one of these 176 shops and sell it to them mamma jammas. God damn it, I can't get into Canada. Shit. First inkling was like, I know where I am moving tomorrow. Period. End of story. It's over. Picking up my bags and taking off. Then I realized they won't let me in the front door. Son of a bitch. God damn it, Canada. Why you gotta be such asshats about letting people in? If you got a freaking, like, DUI, you can't get into Canada. You think you're gonna let me in with a felony? A drug weed felony? Oh, no, you wasted your time. Turn around and walk back. Nope, don't get in that vehicle. I said turn around and walk back, sir. You can't follow me over the border. Walk back, sir. Anyway, unlike Colorado's distributors of medical marijuana, which became the basis for its recreational retail network, Canada's dispensaries operate. Just thinking again how stony, how ridiculous this show gets sometimes. I'm gonna try and make it an interesting monologue. If it's not like, me going crazy inside my own head sometimes. I mean, it'd just be boring reading. Canada's dispensaries operate in a treacherous gray zone. RedMed, located at on a seedy street in Vancouver's Gastown district, resembles an indie record shop more than a dispensary. A poster at the till advertises a rap concert. Music-themed t-shirts hang on the wall. Jars labeled Girl Scout cookies, Crystal Coma, and Soccer Mom display the shop's main merchandise, along bowls of pretzels and crisps. I knew it was this type of situation. I just kind of playing devil's advocate, going overboard a little bit there, saying that I didn't know exactly if this was the type of situation in Vancouver, because we've talked with Mark so many damn times. We have so many hours and hours and hours of conversation with Mark. How would we not know that? This is pretty cool and interesting, and something I don't think a lot of people really do know about. Kind of something that's been happening for such a good amount of time that it's still become kind of this hidden gem. But lately been receiving quite a bit of heat because of. I mean, it's not like, I guess that's something that's been happening since they've opened these things in Vancouver. That it's not just recently they've been receiving heat. Always been kind of an underground thing. At various levels of having to fight off people coming in and wanting to shut it down. But it's still sweet and it's cool. Like I said, not a lot of people, not everybody knows about it. Like I said, I can't get into fucking Canada, so what the hell does it matter to me? It can't be that hard to get into Canada. It's got to be harder to get from Mexico into the United States illegally than it is for us to get into Canada. You'd think? I mean, do they have like... You know what would be awesome if Canada, which they're not like this because they're peaceful people, flapperheads. But if they had like, instead of Canadian Mounties, Canadian Mounties, and like Mounties on horses patrolling up and down the border, I could just see that. That's what happens in Canada. It's just people on horses patrolling up and down. Really what it should be is they should just train moose and put like Gatling guns on mooses and some sort of like robotized system to where like, they had like a scanner. It was like a Terminator type system. It was like, or like the Predator type system. And it was just like these mooses walking up and down and patrolling the Canadian border. And if somebody tries to cross the border illegally, then, you're predatored. Just a thought. I stole that one from Trump's Book of Ideas. But here in the United States, it would be like bears or cougars. Yeah, cougars. And not like cougars. I mean like female cougars. All right, you have completely jumped the shark, John Doe. Get back to it. In June, Vancouver City Council decided to regulate these shops, even though they remain illegal in the eyes of federal law. But better that than lose business to Washington State, which has legalized pot and is 90 minutes away by car, the councilors reckoned. Other local authorities and parts of the marijuana industry are not so tolerant. Police in Saskatoon, a city in central Saskatchewan, shut down the only storefront dispensary in October. Smokers caught with a leftover roach could be charged, they warned. By the way, we were mentioning how, getting into Canada, how difficult it may be there, because you probably just have to jump through some woods and avoid the moose with Gatling guns and predator eyes. But is it like, can Canadians come back and forth to the United States freely? I mean, I'm sure I've known these things in the history of Tim, but, my brain can only hold so much. It's like a computer, you know? It's like a 1 gigabyte computer, and some things just have to delete, and the knowledge to have newer things put in. You know, like that's why it sucks. I'll be hanging out with my friends, and like Jim will be like, "Hey, did you know a monkey can jump 16 feet?" And I'll be like, "God damn it, Jim! You know that stupid fact that you put into my head replaced the whole idea about the whole system that held up trigonometry for me? Do you know that, Jim? You just farted the couch, Jim." Fart his bed. God damn, that's annoying. It is though. It is like a computer like that. One fact goes in, another fact has to go out. I have a horrible memory, in other words. But seriously, I'm gonna have to look at that up. I'll write myself a note for later. Legal producers hold dispensaries and other illegal distributors responsible for their puny sales if they are sidelined a stodgier breed of retailer might take over. Damn Canadians. Provincial-owned monopolies that sell alcohol for domestic consumption elsewhere are everywhere except Alberta. Ontario is the biggest buyer of booze in North America. The province's premier, Kathleen Wynne, says it is very well suited to put in place the social responsibility aspects of selling marijuana. But the provincial distributors worry that lovers of the bottle will look elsewhere or look down at devotees of the bong. God, there's a lot of Canadianisms in this damn article. They were like, askants. The fuck does that mean? Don't include these words in your goddamn articles. Their chiefs are due to meet mid-2016 to talk about whether to stock buds of Jamaican gold alongside Chianti. Licensed producers should find the transition easier. They are stockpiling a surplus of anticipation of legalization. The medical side will provide some growth. Tweed Prairie Plant Systems have sales teams like those of pharmaceutical companies, which call the doctors directly. Canamed, a subsidiary of Prairie, is conducting clinical trials to see whether cannabis might relieve osteoarthritis, potentially a source of growth as Canadians get creakier. But fun is probably the bigger opportunity. Tweed's boss, Bruce Linton, dreams of cannabis-infused sugary drinks and marijuana-smoked salmon, though it's... What? Wait a second. That is something that's new to me, too. Marijuana-smoked salmon. Holy crap. That is a fantastic idea. I wonder what that would taste like. I wonder if that would be good. Like, actually smoke your salmon or smoke meat. It's like light a fire of cannabis and then have it smoked in the cannabis. I don't know if that would taste. I don't know. I don't think that would be the best tasting thing in the world. Damn. This fucking news article giving me brand new freaking ideas. It's fantastic. Write that one down. I gotta tell my friend, I wonder if Ganja John out in Oregon still smokes a bunch of meat and shiz. He had this badass smoker when I was out there, and he's a fantastic cook. Super fantastic cook. In fact, all the food out there in Oregon that I had was amazing. Off the charts food. But if you had like a big ass harvest, some super fine dank, of course you're wasting. That'd be God damn, that would be an expensive meal at this point in time. But if you've got it to waste or to use, that's a pretty sweet idea. Damn. Is there any more of this? This article's over. Anyway, that's what's a little overview of what's going on in Canada. Not too much there. Into detail about what's going to be happening. Which is interesting. I think we'll start to see more and more ideas being floated out from the Trudeau administration of what legalization will look like, and maybe floating ideas of it could be this, and then allowing public discussion of it. It's got to be public discussion. I mean, right? Not just going to throw something together and say, hey, this is what we're going to run with. It's got to be a bunch of public discussion. I don't know. Who knows? Let's get this story right here. Get it. Should we leave this one till Monday? I don't know. Shoot. I'm going to leave that one till Monday. Again, the women in weed one. I forgot to put it at the beginning of the news today, too. See, that's what happens when you get excited about Star Wars and stumble over your own dumbass thoughts, John Doe. I tell you what, if we're not the best at what we do, we're the best at farking up what we do. At least you're best at something. TSA official is in crazy trouble here. Federal charges have been filed against the TSA administration. I guess it's doubling up on who he is there. On the Transportation Security Administration officer is suspected of using her position to allow drugs to be smuggled aboard planes in Oakland. Kiana Scott Clark, 28, of San Mateo, was arrested Wednesday on a federal grand jury indictment and charged with conspiracy to distribute controlled substances and conspiring to defraud the United States by obstructing, impeding, and interfering with aviation security functions of the TSA. She was scheduled to appear in federal court Friday. According to Federal Department of Justice news relief, Clark was operating the X-ray machine at Oakland Airport, where she allowed unnamed co-conspirators to clear the checkpoint without the required screening of the carry-on luggage. Officials say the co-conspirators had marijuana in their luggage that was destined for other parts of the country. This is just a funky story, especially when you get to that part, because it all makes sense kind of before you do get to that part. Because you're like, yeah, there's probably other drugs besides cannabis included here. I mean, the amount of people that I know that travel with cannabis, and I mean, literally, the people that I know that travel with cannabis don't even give a shiz of hiding it. Put it in their bags right on top and then send it through. And the only thing that they get on the other end sometimes is one of those notes that says TSA has checked your baggage. And we've gone through all your shiz and sniffed your underwear. Whoa. But seriously, I don't know anybody that really tries to hide their cannabis anymore when they travel with it. It's just not something they're looking for. They're looking for bombs. They're not looking for drugs. So, for this person to be busted, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of stupid. Whatever. Does not say how the illegal operation was discovered or how long Clark was a TSA officer. They estimate the value of the smuggled cannabis that got through was $500,000 or more, which is probably a couple pounds. It's the feds we're talking about here, man. Super inflated prices. It's 2 pounds. $250,000 street value for each one of these pounds that made it through the TSA checkpoint. That's awesome. Seriously, though. Nobody's checking for weed. This commodities page. I got this story, and that's going to be it for JDR today. I am absolutely starving. I got to go get some dang food. Prepare for this Star Wars shiz. So there's this website, Signal Bay Incorporated, that has commodities on it. Talks about how... let's see here. Let me click it. It's basically I'm trying to click it here. Signal Bay's team has a 100% track record of winning merit-based applications. We invite you to join our Oregon application workshops this December, starting a recreational marijuana business in Oregon. So it's basically this, I don't know, professional business that's been put together. And one of the things that's awesome is there is a commodities release that they have here, which if you have, I don't know, gold, whatever it is, oil, anything out there that's a commodity, you have commodity reports out there that help you decide on where to buy or when to buy, when to sell, all this good shiz. Help you keep up on the prices of cannabis. And this is sort of like an official type situation, official type release. It's not just something in the back of High Times, although I think High Times is probably going to be trying to change that point of view that they have, that it's just this stoner type mag. We can get into more of that here in the future too, because High Times is definitely rebranding themselves. Definitely becoming something that they're trying to work with more mainstream agencies. Like there was a news report out, interviewed the new director or the new head of High Times, and he talked about wanting to be a part of like Yahoo News, crazy shit, just being basically making High Times this big, massive mainstream media source for cannabis, which makes sense. Signal Bay reports this week that the U.S. Cannabis Benchmarks Spot Price Index for week ending December 10th is up 11% to $1,932 a pound, or $4.26 per gram, 26 cents per gram. Average deal size was 14 pounds. The national wholesale price was up by $198 from $1,734 last week. Simple average non-volume weighted price decreased $7 to $2,113, or $4.66 per gram, with 68% of transactions in the $1,682 indigestion there. That came at the most ridiculous time, to $2,544 per pound range. Nationally, the simple average price for outdoor grown was $1,535. Greenhouse was $1,726, and indoor was $22.55 per pound. In a departure from the past, legal and black market fall harvests have not produced the price valleys typically witnessed between holiday peaks. Suppliers are not satiating the market the same way that they have in previous years. With increased access, social acceptance, media coverage, and integration with pop culture, new cannabis consumers are becoming regular cannabis consumers. As new dispensaries and delivery services begin operations, they immediately build inventory, whether or not they have established a secure, stable relationship with the supplier. These new entrants, even in existing markets, are frequently being tactically rather than strategically to serve customers and satisfy demand. Legal sales are on track to more than double, from less than $3 billion in 2014 to more than $6 billion in 2015, and demand continues to rise faster than supply. As previously reported, new grow operations can take up to 6 months to a year or more before operations are optimized and volumes are maximized. And there is a ton of pretty sweet, badass information in this. You can go to signalbayinc.com, signalbayinc.com. They have the company news section there. And you can find this report, and they've got reports from basically all the legal areas. And they've got infused products. They've got laws. I mean, it's a pretty sweet professional analysis of business and monies and the cannabis commodity market. It's exciting. It's really cool, And maybe this commodities and stuff like that, stock market, those type of things haven't been your cup of tea in the past. But hey, man, our passions drive us to some pretty interesting things. Can give us the fuel that we need to learn some awesome new, brand new things. Let me see what Colorado it says here for Colorado. Let me look here. Colorado volume weighted average price in Colorado was $1,956 a pound, or $4.31 per gram, down 4% from last week's price of $20.40 per pound. The average reported deal size doubled to 20 pounds from 10 pounds last week. Simple average price for greenhouse and indoor was $16.99 and $21.30 per pound, respectively. Colorado, California spread decreased to $196 per pound, or 43 cents per gram. Colorado legal markets continue to grapple with illegal pesticide use and competition from unregulated cultivators. Edibles market maker Edipure issued its third recall in 6 weeks Tuesday, which extends to over 35,000 items. And I think I added it up. It was like, it's between 60 and 80,000 units that they've recalled altogether. Edipure, they give a press release post here from Edipure, talking about how Edipure is trying to fix the situation. Talks about advanced medical alternatives recall. In southern Colorado, Pueblo County Sheriff's deputies arrested a man after 600 plants and roughly 100 pounds of dried product was found in his property. Reports to Denver Post, the man was registered medical card holder who possessed an extended plant count allowing him to grow up to 75 plants. Such allowances are a remnant of Colorado's original caregiver-based system prior to legalization of dispensaries and implementation of commercial sales. Patients grew for themselves or signed their plants away to a caregiver. So that's pretty awesome and pretty accurate analysis there to go into. So I highly suggest, and what I will do and what I've started to do, if you want to hear anything more about, hold on here, let me line this up. If you want to hear anything else, or anything more, I should say, God damn it, that's what I was going for it before. Anything more, then it's on our Facebook page, John Doe Radio Show. I've posted up all the news articles that we cover for the day. When we're done with the show, when I get the show recording posted, just head to our Facebook page, John Doe Radio Show, and you can get any of those news articles if you want to reread it. Or specifically find out the recall batch numbers if you have some of the recalled products, or you think you might have some of the recalled products. All right? That's going to do it for today. Thanks to our sponsors on the John Doe Radio Show, usacannabis.consulting. Head over there if you need to get taken care of when it comes to the cannabis industry's crazy convoluted regulation, not just in Colorado either. If you need something built out construction-wise, they'll help you out. usacannabis.consulting. Also head over to weedbiz.net. Fantastic news in the South for those guys. If you're looking for any news from the South, you're in that area of the country, weedbiz.net. Also fantastic grow pods that they have available. And go to Your Graphics on Facebook if you need graphics done. URGRAFIX will take care of you. I'm going to go grab some grub. Enjoy. I'm thinking of getting a freaking burger, man. I wonder if there's any burger places around. I haven't had a big, huge burger. It's one thing I miss about Omaha. The only thing I miss about Omaha is Dinker's Bar and Grill. And those burgers they had there, fudge, they were the best. Like the best in the world that I've had so far, period. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you get to see Star Wars, and if you don't, hopefully nobody ruins it for you, damn bastards. Be sure to smoke a bunch. Smoke one for me, light your bowls, take your dabs, and I'll smoke one for you, all right? Until we meet again on Monday. We enjoy you. I appreciate you. Tell your friends about us. I'm John Doe. I'm Tim Martin. Until we meet again, see you.
The John Doe Radio Show is produced by Cannabis Entertainment. The John Doe Radio Show programming is not limited to, but includes information and humor on counterculture subjects that is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Besides, listening to anyone but your mother is just plain stupid. We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself.
Live.